So we're checking out the Spitz AX, and I've never used a mobile router quite like this. I actually recently got to use the Netgear one, and I'm kind of seeing how this, or I want to see how this compares to that, because I wasn't a big fan, and I'm thinking this is going to just be a lot better. I know that this comes packed with tons of different features, tons of different things that really just step it up. I know it's got its own like VPN, and it's got its own, you know, like its own setup. And I'm not really like somebody who's very tech savvy when it comes to a lot of router modem type of stuff. So I am kind of curious if someone like myself is going to be able to navigate this. But for me, I have a big use case for something like this because I travel a lot and I even go to other countries. And so I needed something that's a little bit more reliable than just depending on random strangers' Wi-Fi or just random Wi-Fi in general. And this is where something like this for me has come in. And I wanted to see if this is something that can definitely fit that bill. Now, opening the box, we do have what looks like immediately here, what is the router here. And what strikes me opening the box immediately is the simple fact that I can just tell this thing is absolutely built really nicely. Let me go ahead and pull this out of this thing right here. But I can feel like it is quality. It is very much quality, and that's something that immediately you want to find when you any product you open up. You just want to make sure it has that good build quality, right? And it absolutely does, which is great. I know they have a battery version on this one, but they don't sell that one where I wanted to buy it, so I kind of got stuck with this. So we'll see if there's also a way to maybe get this thing charging on the go, because that's a big thing for me as well. Kind of just having that mobile aspect to it if I'm out in like the airport or something like that and I need something. Here in this case right here we have the antennas, and you guys can see here this will obviously we'll have to put these in individually, and we are good to go. I've never used something exactly like this. I know that you can kind of take your phone and you can kind of use like you could use a phone carrier to kind of get your internet, and there's ways to play with it. And that's all I really know. So it'll be interesting to see if I can kind of figure this all out and if it's too difficult. It looks like you have some screws and some things to kind of maybe put this plug it into a wall. And then you have what is like is this like a different type? I think this is like a different power thing. And so for different, like if you go to a different country, I'm assuming. And so it does come equipped with different types of I don't know what they're called, but you guys know what I mean. If you're in different countries to plug it in. And then you have what is, it looks like where you plug in this, and then this goes into the modem to charge. And then we continue to have even more, like very impressive the amount of variety you get here. So definitely able to work. We'll grab the standard here one for here in North America. And we'll go ahead and just put this in, and there it is. So it just clicked on right there. You just kind of had to get it going. And then I think to open this up, you would just do this, and then you would open it and twist it in reverse. So very easy, very intuitive. And real quick, I'll just go over the port selection here. We have what is, for the power right there. Then we have, this goes, I think, to the antennas right here. These are all for the antennas, which is great. Then you have a 2.5 gigabit, which I love. Then you have a LAN port right there. You have a USB 2.0, and then I think that's about it at that point. And then you have just more of the antennas. So very much really like, it's got plenty of ports and things that you need. I love that it's got a 2.5. That to me is a big deal. So we'll go ahead and get this going now. But it does, by the way, I want to say for the record, depending on what kind of service you're trying to get, what kind of the different types of bands, the network bands. I know that much, that these are different network bands. So I'm not completely clueless, but I'm mostly clueless. So we'll see if we can kind of figure this out. All right, so I ended up getting the Spitz AX completely set up, and it was actually really simple. I was really wondering and almost intimidated, as I've mentioned, by this device, because I was like, how do you set this thing up? Like, no one really talks about it, and maybe that's because it's actually more easier than I actually thought it was. So to begin with, you are going to need a SIM card. Now, this whole thing is completely plugged in. I put in the antennas. I mean, all you do is just screw in the antennas. Make sure, one thing I do want to make note of is that the antennas are different. So this one says Wi-Fi 6, this says 5G NR. So you just want to make sure you plug in the right antenna into the right socket. So that's the one thing. Another thing is I went ahead and just put in the power outlet. I plugged it in. And I went to and it shows it on your little instruction booklet that you end up getting. It'll tell you how to get to the admin panel, and that's basically what you're going to want to do. On top of that, you want to enter a SIM card, right? So that was the big thing today. And I went ahead and simply just put in, if you guys look right here, you have an option here for the TF card that'll go in the middle. and then you have the two SIM card trays that you put in there. And you're going to want to put the SIM tray, the SIM card that you want from your carrier into one of the SIM trays. I personally have Google Fi. I also have T-Mobile, but I have a plan with T-Mobile that kind of starts to, after I think 50 gigs, they start to kind of slow your speeds down. So I wanted to do Google Fi that I don't think slows your speeds down. And I know let me just get to it. So basically, you go to the admin panel, and you'll you'll be set up right here. And all I ended up doing was it ended up registering and connecting the device. It might say first that the device isn't registered. What you should do is just switch between SIM cards, which I did. I went ahead and just switched to SIM 2, and you know what? And I'll just do that now. So if you're having any problems, switch SIM cards. I know there's also a firmware update that I need to do, so keep that in mind. If you're having problems with this, a firmware update might be your issue. But what we're going to do is we're going to switch back and forth real quick. As you can see here, it says your SIM card's not detected because I don't have anything in there. I'm going to go back and apply to 1. I thought this would be a lot more complicated with Google Fi. I thought I might have to like input a lot of stuff. And I know there's some written things on forums if you end up getting stuck with all this that you can kind of put, but there is the ability to just do, and it's perfect. Now it's going to go back to how I set it up. So I put in the SIM card. This says SIM card slot switching. And then it's already connecting, okay. And this little pink button will show up and it'll tell you to kind of like connect it. And it literally did all the magic for me. And I did have this thing completely connected with an Ethernet, but I took it off. And I was a little surprised by the results by this because I ended up getting more speeds than when I was using my cell phone, which is really cool. Now it's still setting up. Now here, this is the part where I ended up. So once you plug in your SIM card, all you do is hit this auto setup. And it's going to completely set this up for you. Now, like I said, there could be some issues. There might be some things you might need to type in. Maybe some IMEI number that you might need to like put in. I know I saw a lot of this stuff before I got it. And there might be some extra stuff. But for me personally, so far, it's been plug and play. When this thing connects, we'll go ahead and do a speed test. And there it is. It's already now connected. So we're connected. Now, I am completely and 100% on Wi-Fi. Let me make sure I'm still on Wi-Fi. And it looks like I am. So we'll go ahead now and we'll hit the speed test. And I was very surprised to see that my speeds were even quicker and faster than my phone. I was using a S21 Ultra. And let's check out the speeds. Now, I don't get as high a speed as I do with T-Mobile, which I find interesting. I know Google Fi uses like the T-Mobile antennas. But either way, I was still pleasantly surprised. This is my laptop, pure Wi-Fi, connected into this little device. And it is 100% just doing its thing. It does give me an upload speed. I wasn't terribly impressed with the upload speed. As a matter of fact, that seems to be way worse than I was kind of getting earlier. It's not even giving me 1 megabit of an upload speed, but overall the download speeds are good, which is good to see. And overall, I've just been very impressed. Maybe there might be some more things I can do to tinker, to mess with this in the admin panel to get this working even faster. Maybe something to really get it spiced up and going. But overall, I mean, plug and play. I put a SIM card in that I activated with my phone first. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. I activated Google Fi on my phone first. Then I went ahead and just inserted that SIM card right in here. And now I have Wi-Fi throughout this entire house with my cellular band, with my cellular carrier, I should say. So, I mean, it doesn't get more neat than this. I mean, this is just incredible. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sign in with my phone now and just test the Wi-Fi speeds with my phone. So right now we're signing into the, as you guys can see, we're signing into the Wi-Fi with the Spitz AX. So now we're plugged into Wi-Fi, and we'll go ahead now and just test this out and see where we're at with the speeds on this. I imagine the speeds, now I will say I find it funny, I do get faster speeds with T-Mobile and using their, with my phone, my regular phone carrier, but I mean, I think it's freaking hilarious here that this is kind of what we're getting at, and now we're getting kind of a speed test here with my phone versus my actual laptop, and this is using the Spitz AX. So as you guys can see here, this thing is just awesome. I mean, the fact that I'm getting some decent little internet speeds here. Let's see if the upload speed is as bad. Oh, it won't give me an upload speed. Okay, it won't give me an upload speed on the phone. But either way, as you guys can see, very cool device, very simple. You're going to want to make sure you come here to the the admin panel. I know there's a lot more things going with this as well. There's the ad block, or the ad guard, I should say. There's all sorts of things going on with this here. The WireGuard client is what I meant to say. And you can really set up some really cool security things. This is stuff that's a little bit past my pay grade, I should say. I'm sure when I look into this stuff, I'll figure it out very quickly. And I know there needs to be a firmware update, so just keep that in mind. We'll have to figure out how to get the firmware updated as well. But overall, I mean, if you're just looking for a plug-and-play internet and you're looking for something in like maybe your RV, or you're looking for something on the go, I plan to use this on the go myself in different areas and different spots. I think you have a really cool device, really cool thing right here. So overall, guys, does this have my recommendation? Absolutely.